Now let's take a minute and look at how to complete a case change with unearned income. For this demonstration, let's assume that our client has called and stated that she has experienced a change in her child support because the father is not working at this time. The first thing we want to find out is if she is still receiving child support, and if not, what was the date of her last payment. For stopped payments, the client needs to have had 3 months of no payment for the income to be removed, unless there is a court order or the non-custodial parent has been incarcerated. If it has not been 3 months yet, we will need to enter a case change date and follow up once she has gone 3 months without payments. If that were the case, we would of course explain this to the client as well. For the sake of convenience, our client reports that she is still receiving payments, but they are more sporadic and not a consistent amount. As always, we will start by creating a DCC 90F requesting proof of changes in the other income. The information is due back in 10 days from the date that the 90F is being sent. We're requesting the proof of other income for changes in child support by providing November through January statements. We are reinforcing the due date by warning the client if the information is not received on time, the case will be discontinued. Even if you are able to obtain this information yourself, it is ultimately the responsibility of the client to ensure that the information is returned on time. Once you have completed the DCC 90F, print a copy for the client and one for the case file. Return to KICS and make your detailed history note regarding what the client reported and what actions you have taken. Add a case change date so that the case can be tracked through the case change workbasket. After a few days, you have received a report from the Child Support Office. The report gives you a breakdown of the requested months, which fulfills the request from the client. We can now move on with the case change process in KICS. To begin with, we need to determine what kind of effect the change will have on the case. As we can see, the client is receiving $150 per month in child support. To determine the type of effect this change will have, we will need to see what the new monthly average of child support income is. The report shows that in November the client received a total of $150. In December she only received $75, and in January the total payment was for $50. To find the average, we will add together the total amounts received, which equals $275. We will then divide this amount by the number of months represented, which is 3. The client is receiving an average of $91.67 per month in child support. This amount will represent a decrease in countable monthly income and thus result in a positive change for the client. Therefore, our interview date will be the date the client reported the change. After removing the case change date, we will move to other income deductions. At the screen, we will update the child support information we have on file by changing the current amount with the new monthly average. We will then move to the eligibility process screen and assign eligibility to the children. Give our reason for care and move to eligibility summary. On the summary page, make sure that the changes have been made and click Finish. At Documents Needed, we will review the changed information and ensure that the effective dates are correct. As we can see, the change in income did not result in any kind of change in a copay. Our reason for the copay change would be no change in copay. No documents are needed for each child since this is a case change, and everything should have been received before the case change was started. Since there were no changes in the copay, we will not need to update the enrollment information at this time. Now we will create the 105 to send to the client to advise of any changes made in the case and to notify of continued case approval. Although there are no changes to the copay, I've still indicated what the copay is for the client. Additionally, we've advised the client that the case has been reviewed and the children remain eligible to receive child care services, and this is because she reported a change in her child support income. We've indicated also what the countable income is. We'll print a copy for the client and one for the case record. In Kix, make your history note indicating what was received, how it was used, and what actions have been taken, including forms sent to the client and provider. As you can see, we indicated in our history note here what we received from the Child Support Office and how we came to the conclusion of our average of $91.67 per month. We also made a note that the new amount did not result in any copay changes, and so we only sent a 105 to the client. Print the case comments for this change, including all actions from the date of the initial report to the date of completion. After the notes have been printed, place them on top of the documentation associated with this case change and put the file with the active cases.